Hello, hello, welcome YouTube friends. Phoenix61 here, Northern Waters. We are playing the Connecticut today, right? So this is the new-ish hybrids now, right? These came out last week, and so I did get the Nebraska. So we had a recent live stream where went in and bought, you know, the free-ish crates, right? Where like you could buy some of the you know, the hybrid slash, Independence Day, 4th of July crates for either silver or global XP. You can, of course, buy even more for doubloons, as always, right? But there was like a limited amount. You could buy like five crates for silver, 5 crates for global XP. And so we did get early access to Nebraska from one of those crates. So I went and played a game and did absolutely terrible with it. Yeah, so we have since, per some of your guys' suggestions on live stream, I changed up the commander. We're using Sims now. So I'll go through that at the end as well if you want to see that. And then I was stubborn with Nebraska, so I did the same thing here with Connecticut. But yeah, Nebraska is the tier 7. And I kept getting put in lobbies with tier 8s, and I was being stubborn and not, purchasing the upgrade. I wasn't speeding up my fast forward through the unlocks for global XP, right? I was just playing, and I think there was a little bit of a struggle bus there too when I was playing on my own, even after live streaming. So I went and bought those and then played some games, and I'm having a much better time with it. And we've also kind of figured out this airstrike a little bit better. I think it's a good amount of challenge to try and do well with these airstrikes, right? So it does try to do a little bit of sort of auto aiming for you, but I think with fast moving ships, you end up undershooting, like the ships end up getting past the torpedoes because they move so slow, and so there's definitely still quite a bit of just practice and know-how with that and strategy, right? So I felt like this was a decent shot, but then my teammates finished off this destroyer here. So but that would have been nice to get that kill there. And yeah, so I'm having a better time with these. I think I'm gonna enjoy these ships, right? So I've been playing them quite a bit, and then there's if you do get them unlocked, there are missions right now for where you can earn some Independium, right, which is the current event currency. And there's a few things you can buy. There's the legendary tier variant of this, which I think is a little overblown as far as, because you'd have to pay some money for real to get that one, right? So I don't think I'm going to do that, but there are some things like commander items and unique skins for these ships that you can buy for Independium, so I'll probably go that route, right? So if you do, and you can get 3,000 just from the first step of each mission, right? So there's 3 missions, 1 for each ship, and yeah, you can. The first step is play as a cruiser, or play as a battleship, or play as a destroyer, and for all American ships, right? So and there's I don't know, there's get a certain amount of XP or something, something fairly easy to do, just play, right? And so then you could get 3,000 Independium that way, and then the calendar event that's going on right now too, you can get some of the hybrid crates, right, and have a chance. So there we finally do get a torpedo hit and a fire. I think he must have put out the fire, and yeah, he's just kind of pressing in a little too aggressively, right? This Connecticut, right? I was just checking to see what the secondary range was, right? Almost in secondary range of 5 kilometers. I was like, alright, we'll just shoot him. Let's get rid of this guy. So that is kill number 1 for this match. We got this Nurburg over here, so just kind of curious what he would do, right? He's got quite a few torpedoes. So we'll just pay attention to where he's going, right? But yeah, so I think that's probably my plan. I'm going to play these for a little bit. It is kind of nice to have them in early access, because then when they do become full access, you don't have to pay silver to get them, right? So there's a little bit of an advantage there just by getting them. But then yeah, so if you're working through the calendar event too, you can get a couple of the corresponding crates to unlock these as well. Of course, this week the Star Trek promotion or collaboration, whatever you want to call it, is active, right? So there's things to do for that. There is a mission for that in the missions tab, right? So these ships that don't move are definitely the easiest ones to shoot at. And I think I was like, is he gonna move? It looks like he might move backwards. So I kind of aim towards the back of his ship. The airstrike does, it takes a few seconds for the planes to drop out of the sky, and then they do their run, and then the torpedoes are kind of slow, and then they only have like a 2-kilometer range, right? So I'm still kind of getting used to that, right? So I still, we got one hit there. What's nice is you can still, even if the planes aren't ready, you can go back and you can switch back to that mode to kind of see, you get that nice overhead view and see how you did, right? Whereas like, I think with like, if you're playing as carriers, it's a little tougher because a lot of times you want to like, you don't want to sit there and look and watch and see what happened because you're trying to like, do your next run, right? So this is just kind of nice. We'll shoot at this Carolina, and you notice I am using HE shells quite a bit with these. I feel like we get triple fire, man. That is nice. So he is definitely going to burn to death. And so like my rationale behind using HE quite a bit is if you do get one triggering fires, right? It just doesn't. These the AP shells are great. They don't seem to hit quite as hard as some of the other AP centric American battleships, right? But then you do have the torpedo strikes, right? So from the airplane. So then you do have chances of flood. Of course, they're not like massive flood chances, right? So, but then you potentially get that extra damage over time, those status effects, whatever you want to call them, floods and fires, right? Since you've got kind of both options. So I'm getting picked up by sonar, so I know that that's that Nuremberg. I know that that's that cruiser. So I'm backing up to see if he's back here, and he's not. So I know he's out in front of me. But yeah, we were worried about torpedoes from him, right? So I was kind of assuming his plan would be sneak around the corner, dump torpedoes at me, right? So I kind of know he's got to be like right in here. So I'm going to send the torpedo bombers, right? Airplane bombers, and see if we could just get lucky. And then, yeah, we could see his plane pop up over there. We shoot that down with, just the AA on the ship. We'll take a shot at this Italian battleship, and then, yep, there is the Nuremberg. We did not get a hit, but we were right on like, guessing where he was, right? So he's got, I think, 2 racks of torpedoes on each side of his ship. So we're going to try and bait his torpedoes in one direction, right? So I'm kind of turning left here as we're backing up to try and get him to send torpedoes towards that side, right? To have him send them that direction, right? Because he's going to look at that sort of torpedo suggested line. Here, the Citadel hit with the fire, right? So he's sideways enough. I'm assuming he's sending them right now, so I'm going to start turning back right now. And then we are not using our damage con, obviously, because we do get hit by one. We're going to flood. So, yep, so the most of his torpedoes went off to the left there. We baited him successfully, right? So he might not fall for it again, but we are going to take one hit here. And I'm going to try and just deal with the flood for a little bit in case he gets his starboard side torpedoes off. But I'm going to say it's probably safe he didn't get those off. He was making a valiant effort, though. And then, of course, damage con does last for, 20 seconds-ish or so, right? So you can trip it a tiny bit early if you're careful, right? You just don't want it to end and then get hit by a torpedo. But that marks kill number 3 for us today. And of course, now there's like nobody over here on this side, right? So last we played it like a man, we defended our side, and we won, right? Killed everybody over here, with the exception of the destroyer in the very beginning. So we'll take our shots at this Colorado and see if we can't trip some fires. We're up to 83,000 damage too. That's pretty good for a tier 6, huh? And then I keep forgetting to use, so I've got the spotter planes on. I keep forgetting to use that consumable, so I'm getting better. But that's one where I'm just like, I'm so focused on where to shoot and what to shoot, and HE versus AP, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I got this fighter, right? So they do last a little bit. You get like an extra 10 seconds on these, so it's kind of a nice. You get 2 shots basically while the fighter's out if you time it correctly. Or if you're an idiot like me and keep forgetting, you can just send it whenever and then at least get one with the extra what is it? It's like 10% more shell grouping or something when the spotter plane is out. I think these spotter planes, with how they've changed being spotted by air, I think the spotter plane should still spot, like legit spot you. That's not game breaking, right? Like, but yeah, since they changed it, you can't get spotted by airplanes except for the mini map, right? Like, people can't lock onto you. But I think the spotter planes, if you got spotted by a spotter plane, you could get locked onto. That would make sense, right? Like, it's a spotter plane, right? And then, like, yeah, you'd open up for, like, carriers or something to be able to drop spotter planes instead of fighter planes. Like, maybe, there could be some value there, right? But, yeah, it is what it is. So, we'll try and see. I was hoping to be able to jack the kill on this Colorado, but we didn't quite get there, and then Nelson finishes him off, right? So, we'll head towards D and see if we can't get anything there. And since Ben's probably going to go down pretty quick, I'm just going to take the like YOLO shot with the torpedo bombers, right? We'll just send them. I think there's like an argument to be made about like sending these strikes like towards the rear, or like in front of or behind ships, right? Like, that was pretty close, right? Versus like trying to get on the side of like cruisers and battleships. I mean, of course, destroyers are going to be really tough, right? But so you got like a little bit of a chance if they're make some hyper focus on trying to dodge you, but it is what it is. So I'll make a left turn here since we got spotted by the Benson, just in case he sent some torpedoes our direction. Originally I would have headed into D, but it's not a big deal at this point. We're going to win, just need him to die, otherwise we'll win on points here very shortly. Can't seem to hit him, though. Nobody can. It's that American camo, man. That paint job. Oh, man, almost. I think we get this kill here. Let's see here. He's still dodging bullets. Alright, he's turning left. We'll aim a little high. Boosh, just needed the one to hit him. 4 kills. See, if we would have got that destroyer right in the beginning, that would have been sweet. That would have been the Kraken right there. That would have been nice. 104,000 damage at tier 6. That's pretty good. I'd played a few games with this ship before, and of course we had quite a bit of practice with the Nebraska, so there's videos out, or I have one video out. I think I did a doubleheader with that one with 2 games, right? Yes, we have like one short one or whatever, and so yeah, so go check that one out if you're interested in Nebraska. I do not have the the Delaware, the next one up, and then I'm probably not gonna get the legendary. I think the legendary version is going to be a Bureau project next year, so if you can wait it out, yeah. But here's how I have the commander set up, right? This is Sims. So this Tony West River is really just a commander geist, right? Yeah. I like this multi-tool guy here, right? So, because that kind of buffs multiple things that apply to this ship, right? Planes, you have secondaries, although they're not that great, and then, main shell battery, right? So, I picked that one, and then, yeah, I mean, this is not too much different than how I would build and play most of my other American battleships, with the exception of I'm not using Azure Lane, New Jersey, right? Because that's very AP centric. At least that's how I play with that one, with those ships. But yeah, I'm still going range and accuracy here. But obviously, you do you. This is just kind of what's been working for me, right? And then I do will to rebuild for my legendary perk. If you like fight fire with fire is always a good idea too, right? But yeah. And then, yeah, of course, this is during the Star Trek collaboration, so we are on the bridge of the Enterprise while we're looking at the ships. I was, thrown off by how the ship looked, too, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's not in water, right? It's floating, so you have, the red, rusty underside, whatever, however you want to describe that, that's, exposed to. But, yeah. Thank you guys so very much for watching all the way through here. Make sure you're following the channel. We got lots of World of Warships videos, and then we, of course, occasionally live stream, right? So, yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks again.